Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World of Wrestling podcast. Back here today to discuss about the AEW Dynamite April 29, 2026 review. My thoughts on Dynamite tonight. It was okay at best. It had some good stuff. It had some good storylines. Here and there. Nothing too extraordinarily special about it. But it definitely was a lot better than anything WWE can provide. Because WWE is shit. And that's about the only reason why AEW has any positive comments coming out of my mouth. But could this show be better? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, what we got for wrestling, this is probably the best product that we can ask for right now until somebody steps up. But yeah, Dynamite tonight, average. Nothing special really happened. They progressed some storylines. The Death Riders once again have a storyline with Will Ospreay. That to me is making absolutely no sense at all. It seems to me that Jon Moxley just talks in riddles. He never really gets to a point. He never makes any logical sense. Honestly, it sounds like the Heath Ledger Joker when he talks, to be quite frank with you. As weird as that might sound, he does a pretty good impression of him. The show opened up with the TNT Championship match with Kevin Knight and MJF. This match was pretty good. MJF losing did not bother me as much because Kevin Knight won by cheating tactics. But obviously MJF tried to cheat at the end with the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He brought in the TNT Championship, was going to hit Kevin Knight with the title. The referees took the belt away from him, so he whipped out the Dynamite Diamond Ring and tried to hit him in the face with it. That was countered with a low blow, and then an inside cradle, and Kevin Knight won the match to retain his championship. Knight is not given the time to celebrate as he is blindsided by MJF after the match, but the beatdown is interrupted by the arrival of Darby Allin. The AEW World Champion drops down from the rafters, which I thought was kind of cool. It's taken a lot of the aura of Sting and applied it to his character in some cases. And drops MJF with a Scorpion Death Drop. MJF hightails it out of the ring with a microphone in hand, retreating up the ramp to complain about Darby and Kevin being a couple of cheaters. Tries to demand his rematch for the Triple B World Championship, and Darby says no. He's not giving MJF a rematch until he puts something on the line. And if Darby survives tonight, he knows who deserves the next shot, and that's Kevin Knight. Honestly, what can MJF do to put on the line? He could put on the line the same opportunity that Hangman Page did. He could say that his match with Hangman Page will be null and void to the stipulation they made. I don't even think that would be a possible stipulation that MJF would go about doing. I think that would be kind of stupid as hell anyway. But that's just some thoughts running through my head. He could say that he'll never challenge for the world title as long as Darby's champion. He'll leave the company. That's another one. Actually, that would probably be the best one. If I lose, I'll leave the company. Not that it really matters. Everyone knows MJF's winning the damn title back anyway. So, those are some ideas, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah. Then Brody King comes out after Kevin Knight's given the thumbs up from Darby Allin, and Brody doesn't seem to take too kindly to this as he makes his way out staring down MJF on the ramp before making a beeline for the ring, and he has a mic in his hand as well and telling Darby he's got some bad news. Sounds like Wade Barrett. Darby's not going to survive tonight. He's got worse news for Kevin Knight, letting him know he's not facing Darby next week. He's going to be facing the new AEW World Champion. And that's pretty much it. Then backstage we hear from Cage and Cope. Cage says his arm is fine before accepting the challenge from FTR for an I Quit street fight at Double or Nothing. Cope remarks on Cage's history with I Quit matches in AEW, with Cage insisting he never said I quit. Okay. That should be an interesting match. FTR and Cage and Copeland in a I Quit street fight. Back at ringside, Brawling Birds make their way out. They have a match against Emily J and Jordan Blade, enhancement talents that lose. The Birds celebrate as commentary talks about Swerve Strickland representing AEW at the NFL Draft. And then backstage, Tekla says, oh shit, Tekla says, there are too many dumb bitches in AEW as she and Sky Blue address their enemies Eddie Kingston style. Tekla tells Hayter to stick to her tag team because one-on-one, Tekla is everything and she's nothing. She also says she would like to stop calling everyone a bitch in the AEW women's division, but they're all bitches to her because they're beneath her, I guess. So then we head to the next matchup. This is the AEW International Championship match with Okada and Ace Austin. I don't know why this match was even taking place. This absolutely sucked. I really didn't care to watch this match. Not saying that the wrestling was bad, but I didn't really pay attention to this. This was not a big deal. Ace Austin had no business challenging for a freaking championship of any kind. He's not even on Dynamite on a regular basis. Might as well call this an enhancement match with a championship on the line, which I don't know why the hell you would want to do that. No offense to Ace Austin. I think Ace Austin's a good wrestler, but shit. After the match is over, though, Okada tries to attack Austin. Some more before the Juice Robinson intervenes. And as the Don Callis family regroups in the ring, we see Takeshita coming out to stare the champ down ahead of their Double or Nothing match. Then we cut to a vignette hyping up the return of the most wanted himself, Bandito. Except we see the man who wants him most right now as Swerve Strickland is handed a lighter to burn the wanted poster with the luchador's face. Why is Swerve Strickland interested in Bandito? Is there something I'm missing that I didn't catch before he left? I'm not quite getting it. Andrade had some things going on with Bandito, but not Swerve Strickland. Or at least to my knowledge or memory, I don't remember them having beef with each other. Anyway, commentary welcomes us back to the show before we get an update from the camp of the Death Riders backstage. With Moxley talking to Ospreay to confirm if he's been cleared, and he says he hasn't. But it won't stop him going to Japan for a big title match coming up for his boys. Moxley likes the sound of that, gets all dibbity, all happity, clicking his heels together for whatever strange reason. Sound like he's the gosh darn Joker. But also tells him to drop everything he's been holding, like it's all excess baggage from thoughts running through his head, his heart, that pulls his strings and makes him angry, the hatred he might have for Jon Moxley for what he did to him, so on and so forth. This makes, to me, I'm not even quite getting this. Is he supposed to be part of the Death Riders now? Or is he being initiated into the Death Riders? Like, I don't quite understand this. Nor do I understand Will Ospreay's mentality here. Is he, like, possessed? Is he being mentally controlled? Or is he just playing along so that he can get into the Death Riders to ultimately destroy them from within? That's about the only thing that makes any logical sense at this point. And just playing Moxley like a fool. I don't quite get it. Honestly. I mean, they had something like that happen within the Inner Circle that worked. MJF went into the Inner Circle, and all the Inner Circle members didn't want MJF a part of the group. Jericho sided with MJF instead, and the whole group fell apart at the seams with him being part of that group, ultimately developing the Pinnacle at that point with FTR and a couple other guys. So I don't know. I really don't understand what they're trying to do here. So Ospreay understands, though, and walks off before asking where the ring is, and Mox tells him there is no ring, and turns his attention to us, saying the rest is private. So with that, Dynamite rolls on. So basically, he's going through the like the Heart Dungeon. They got the Death Rider Dungeon going on here. So I guess they're trying to make the Death Riders into the Heart Dungeon. Or dojo. This is ridiculous shit. I don't quite get it. But they're at least trying to develop something. It's not much of anything in my opinion. And it kind of leaves a lot of questions and answers as to what they're trying to accomplish here. As always, since the beginning of the Death Riders being developed, what the fuck is the point of the Death Rider? We still don't know, after all these years, since late 2024 up to now, we still do not know the whole purpose of the Death Riders and why they're here. They're about loyalty. They're about wanting to make the company better. They're about killing the company. Like, what the fuck are we doing with this group? And now we're making even making less logical sense with doing things with Will Ospreay, who had intentions of breaking Jon Moxley's neck. I honestly don't understand this shit. It just drives me up a wall. It's crazy. At the end of the day, this is absolutely fucking crazy. But anyway, we move on to a tag team match. This was a tune-up match, basically, for Christian Cage and Adam Copeland to go up against RPG Vice. That's Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. Oh, boy. This is great shit. Obviously, we know who won this fucking match. The FTR were by ringside, but Orange Cassidy showed up with the conglomeration and interrupted their time sitting there by ringside to watch the match, threw popcorn all over them, chased them out of the area at ringside, and the match continued on. Following that, during the match, though Cage and Copeland win, Christian gets the spear and Copeland goes for the cover for the 1, 2, 3. And that's how the match ends. I believe that was on Trent Beretta, yeah. Cage grabs a microphone and then a chair. At ringside, I thought they were going to go ahead and do a concerto. They actually did not. They went for well, not really old school, but something that Copeland did back at WrestleMania 37, applying a bottom piece of a chair around his opponent's mouth in a crossface and making Trent Beretta say, "I quit." He said, "I quit," but you can barely hear him saying it because his mouth is muffled from the bar being across his mouth, obviously. So he just goes ahead, he just does the crossface again without the crossbar. And then Trent Beretta says, "I quit," instantly after a second try, as if this was kind of, in a sense, botched. I don't know why you would say it was botched. I mean, I heard him saying, "I quit." It was just muffled down and all distorted because of the bar across his mouth. And then after that, when they finally got to have him say, "I quit," Christian says, "He never said that." Cope's music hits, and music hits as Cage and later Copeland pose with the tag team titles. And Copeland's carrying around a fucking popcorn box container over his head, and then chase after the referee to put it on his head as well. Weird. Anyway, earlier during the show, before the show actually started, Jericho shows up, and since his new catchphrase is, when he shows up, the demand beat the shit out of him. So for now on, anytime Jericho shows up at AEW, they're going to beat the shit out of him. Jericho starts to address Ricochet when he's blindsided by the demand, and Ricochet tells Jericho he should have left, but is told to eat shit by Jericho, which only leads the GOA beating him down some more before Ricochet teases a moonsault on him and telling Jericho he's not even worth it. Ha ha! Yeah, okay. Whatever. I got a question. Where was the Hurt Syndicate? He hired them. Why weren't they there to protect him? That made absolutely no damn sense. Following that, we had the AEW Women's Tag Team titles. The Divine Dominion of Megan Bayne and Lena Cross going up against Kara Ishida and Chris Statlander. For them to ultimately lose. After last week, we were starting to see some sort of form of transformation from Chris Statlander. Her face looks like she was tweaking from drug withdrawals, I would say. It was kind of weird, honestly. She looked like she was kind of losing her mind, like her mouth going upwards and the corner of her mouth going up in the air, like she's just kind of losing her mind or something. I don't know. It was really strange, but here they just have her in a tag team match with Cheetah, and they end up losing the match. Obviously, they had to. You're not going to have a random title change on a fucking Dynamite with no story to it. So that was kind of stupid. That would have been dumb as hell. So anyway, the champ celebrated as we cut backstage, where an interview with Andrade El Idolo and Don Callis is interrupted by an angry MJF. He runs down Andrade for leading the champ losing his title, and El Idolo's response to this is, "How?" Or how do you know? This only riles the former champ up as he shoves Andrade, but Don cuts in to tell them both to focus on business right now. I'd like to know what business Andrade is trying to accomplish here now that he's lost to Darby Allin and didn't get the job done. I don't know. Like, Andrade's kind of taken a step back, and he was kind of moving forward here, and now he's kind of going backwards again. I don't know, man. Anyway, Roosh had a impromptu jobber match with Stephen Furdy Like, who the fuck cares? Don't know who this guy is. Roosh wins, and then Roosh takes a microphone shouting in Spanish before cutting his catchphrase, "When you mess with the bull, you get the horns." Yeah. Are we going to see you consistently on Dynamite every Wednesday night? Or is this just a one-time only cameo where we'll see you another couple of months? And your purpose on the show is meaningless. Anyway, got an answer to that? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, backstage, Renee Paquette talks to the Ops as Samoa Joe addresses being back with his boys, including the newest recruit is Anthony Bowens. So all this fucking time, we got confirmation that Hook and Shibata were going to both look on in the AEW roster. Hook was going to do that. Shibata was going to look in New Japan or whatever, somewhere in the indies in Japan, and try to find new recruits to fill in the spots that are missing within the Ops. We hear nothing. We see nothing. There's no storylines. There's no video footage of them going out there actually looking for recruits, seeing who would want to be part of the group, looking at future talent possibly that they could bring up from Ring of Honor into the Ops and start building a new faction with the same name. Instead, there's no recruit. Samoa Joe returns from injury, and then we get Anthony Bowens stated that he's now part of the Ops. With no background story, no build towards this, just like that, instantaneously, like the snap of a finger, he's part of the Ops, that's it. Where the fuck is the detail? Where's the lead up for any of this? What the hell are we doing here? See, this is shit that I get so frustrated with both companies. There is no detail. Nothing. Oh, you're part of the group. Go ahead. Come on. We decided you're going to be part of the group. Come on. Oh, okay, cool. I'd rather have something to do than sit on Collision or doing nothing at all. Or just working on the indies. I mean, granted, him and Max Caster are great together still, even after all these years being separated from one another. Which, honestly, I don't know why they're separated at all. Why aren't they a tag team still? What was the fucking point in separating them? It did nothing for the tag team division. They were great for the tag team division. Max Caster ain't doing nothing. I don't know. I don't know. And then Joe addresses Will Ospreay in what seems like another faction wanting the former international champion in their ranks before we head to another commercial break. Why would Will Ospreay have any interest in the Ops? First off. I mean, I can understand. I mean, Samoa Joe stood by him. He didn't do anything to him or betray him. But Samoa Joe decided to be a fucking prick and turn heel. Are these guys heel still, or are we going ahead and reverting them back to baby faces? For no reason at all, obviously. We don't need a reason. We just flip characters whenever we feel like it, just for the sake of doing it. This is stuff about AEW that's wrong. Their wrestling is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with wrestling in this company. But their ability to tell an intriguing, detailed story needs to start taking place. And that's the major issue with this fucking company. And I've been saying it for years now, since, I would say probably since 2004, honestly. I mean, they've had this problem longer than that, but whatever. Anyway, backstage, FTR and Stokely reveal they have an ally to deal with Orange Cassidy after what he did tonight, as Tommaso Ciampa will team with them in what is being called a double jeopardy match with the winner earning either a tag team or trios title shot, depending on who wins. Oh my God. Okay, with that being said, we move on to the World Championship match. And the World Championship match was not bad. Very good action. Good main event. I mean, Darby won, but it just doesn't feel right with me that Brody King loses to a guy like Darby Allin. Because of Darby Allin's height, stature, and everything, and his body stature. His body, physique, all that is just not believable. In a real fight, would Brody King honestly lose to a small guy like Darby Allin? Darby Allin's fit. He's a fit guy, but when you compare him to a Brody King, which you saw Darby Allin's face last week when he was told he was facing Brody King, he looked like it looked like he was scared out of his mind. And he was looking at this like, oh, this is a tall mountain to climb. This ain't going to be easy. I mean, he didn't look at this like it was going to be an easy thing or something he can overcome. It looked like he was worried. But he overcame it, won the match, did a power bomb outside from the apron onto the exposed floor. And then afterwards, when Brody King got back in the ring before the 10 count, Darby took advantage of the situation, climbed the top rope, hit the coffin drop, and then hit another coffin drop for good measure and got the 1, 2, 3 for the victory. And that was the end of that, and the show went off the air. We saw Kevin Knight and MJF both looking at the MJF looking at the screen and Kevin Knight looking at in the audience at ringside watching the action go down as well, and that was pretty much it, and the show ended with them highlighting the matches that will be taking place on Collision this Saturday as well. And that's basically it, guys. So at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a great night, guys. Bye.